40 blocks, brought to you by Von Hausen.
1, 2, 3. Nice.
Perfect. It's exactly what they should be doing. It's harder, and that means it's going to be more fun for us fans to watch. Those guys trying to negotiate that sweeping left-hander around and down the hill.
This is the part I really enjoy it. Just like the water or ink, like drooping like this. You never know what's gonna happen. It's kind of like a Chinese ink technique.
Our mission when we started Ogilvy Merwin Vintners is to be great for Clarksburg.
People always come in and say this drive to the tasting room is beautiful. They love the winding road, they love the trees, they love coming in and seeing the slough.
We are in District 17 in the Delta, and what I like to look at it is one step back perhaps from the coast, but still having coastal influence.
Because it's very difficult when you have an older family member living alone often and the kids worry and they're not close enough to go by and visit.
It's been pretty amazing. As opposed to something like Skype, which is more like a phone call, you have to call and someone has to electively pick up the phone on the other end.
Rock and roll is alive!
Fear and frustration spread throughout Sacramento.
Virtual Safe Shot is a company developed by retired deputies.
Hallie's wife, Bernice, a witness to the homicide, but could do nothing to stop it. A retired prison guard from Folsom, Hallie always kept a watchful eye on his kids' homes. So when he noticed an unfamiliar car drive up, Hallie went to check it out. His wife watching with binoculars as he encountered two men. Hallie got back into his car, tried to leave, but one of those men shot him.
The technique for the women is much more refined because of the points you work. But it takes about 10 years of training until you're 18 or so before you're even ready to become an apprentice to a company before you join a company.
A summer tradition unlike any other in Northern California, where wine country meets the roaring engines of NASCAR on the unique road course of Sonoma Raceway. It's the Toyota Save Mart 350, and the preview show starts now. Hi everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Fox 40 Sports. I'm Mark Dembski, and it may be hard to believe, but Sonoma Raceway is celebrating 50 years of racing, and there will be no bigger celebration than at this year's Toyota Save Mart 350. From stock cars to Indy cars to NASCAR, in 1989, this one-of-a-kind road course really has seen it all.
It's the destination track.
50 years of road course racing at Sonoma. From stock cars to dragsters, motorcycles to open wheel racing, the reputation of this gem, tucked neatly into the hillsides of wine country, changes from driver to driver.
You had to push hard in certain areas, but have a lot of finesse and patience in others.
I just remember how much fun it was when you complete a lap at Sonoma and you thought you did it well. It's an accomplishment.
Everything is so different than your norm that it's almost like a vacation for everybody in the garage area.
How primitive this place was, though, 50 years ago.
We broke ground here in August. It was just a hill with cows and an occasional mountain lion. And that is a true story. That's all there was here.
A group of business people from Marin County, who also were racing enthusiasts, got the ball rolling. The first 20 years at Sonoma were active, with drag racing, motorcycles, and NASCAR's late model and West Series. But the road course was missing a major headliner.
I went there in 1987, We shot an Exxon motor oil commercial there, and we thought, wow, this would be a cool place to have a cup race.
And it wouldn't be long before it became a reality. The next year, Riverside Raceway in Southern California was sold and announced it would be closing, leaving NASCAR's Cup Series needing to find another venue. Their answer? Wine Country in Sonoma, which hosted its first Cup race in 1989.
It's a really racy racetrack. You can really race hard on it.
Road racing was, there were only a few guys that were pretty good at it. And the biggest issue you had when you went to road courses back in the day was the equipment wasn't that good.
And there were other issues with bringing racing's biggest series to Sonoma.
Number one, the facility experience was miserable. We didn't have garages. The teams had to work out of the back of their trucks. Very rough.
Sonoma Raceway President Steve Page took over just after the Cup Series arrived. His vision proved to be as important as bringing the Cup Series here in the first place.
Facility's a little rough, but maybe we can build something here. And it was truly a diamond in the rough at that time.
He came up here into this famed wine country, and he made friends of the old vineyard owners and winery owners, and that needed to happen. They weren't really excited about having this racetrack here. Today, he's a pretty highly respected guy up in this part of the world.
Grandstands were carved out right into the hillsides that surrounded the racetrack. State-of-the-art garages and a media center were also built. The entire fan experience was reborn into what it is today at Sonoma.
If you flash forward 25 years, now we've got a beautiful facility that really offers a professional experience.
And don't just take our word for it.
I think everything that they do out there, they put on such a great show.
That trip in the middle of June out to Sonoma, that's the best weekend that I think we have that kicks off our summer months.
Did you know since 1989, 19 different drivers have been to victory lane at Sonoma? Vallejo's own Jeff Gordon, of course, has had the most success at the track, winning 5 times from 98 to 2000, then again in 04 and 06. Tony Stewart won 3 times there in 01, 05, and 2016. 5 other drivers have won twice at Sonoma.
We are 40 blocks. Von Hausen gives us a chance to jump in a cool ride and cruise around for 40 blocks. Today we're downtown, right next to Doco with one of the most inspiring artists that I've encountered.
Aww,
it's Marion Conrad. Thanks for joining us here in this fancy little ride here.
Oh my gosh, this car.
You
wow,
digging it?
Wow. Yeah, George Grenswich, what are you selling these days? This is all that in a bag of chips.
Right?
This dash.
I mean, it's like a disco inside this A-Class.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
The ground effects, there's ground effects on my boots right now.
We just passed through the tunnel right there, 5th Street,
Right.
As we come up on J, and you have a mural right there that you did.
Yeah, it's actually in the pedestrian tunnel. It was actually my old studio wall that was in the downtown plaza before they tore it apart to become
what it is today.
What it is today. That was the wall of my studio.
And I know that people take selfies in front of that wall, which has become one of the things that's happening with these amazing murals, all of them that are all downtown, scattered around downtown. You've been a signature part of Wide Open Walls and the movement to get more murals, more art up outside. That's got to feel cool to you to be part of that, I would think.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And I kind of didn't really realize that I ever wanted to paint a mural before Wide Open Walls. On the wall at Mars, like that's the single best wall in Sacramento.
Easily.
It was like this, it's a whole city block.
No kidding.
It's giant.
Took you like, what, 3.5 years to do it? How long did that thing take you?
I only was given 10 days in the middle
What?
of August.
10 days?
Oh my gosh, because I was on that wall 20 hours a day. I was like going home and sleeping for like 3.5 hours and getting back out there.
I know you have some others that you're really proud of. We're headed right now to one I know you're super proud of.
It's the biggest thank you card I've ever written. And Saoirse Ronan is the actress, and the way I made this mural is kind of funky. I looked at the movie poster, and then I just got out scissors and an X-Acto knife and actually just made a paper collage. And then like the cross that's going through it totally makes sense for the movie, but actually that happened because I wrote Sacramento like next to it, and it looks so bad that I was like,
do it.
I can't leave this
No
here.
offense, Sacramento,
No
but
offense.
that's coming down.
It's getting across, yeah.
Oh yeah, love this one too.
I named it the Wishing Wall, but there's not a single sign that says Wishing Wall anywhere near it. And I think it's so fun how many people use hashtag Wishing Wall because they know what it is.
They
like,
know.
so it was just, it kind of made its own destination.
What are you working on that you can't tell, but you're going to instead tell our viewers?
Starting in March, I'm working with the same Lady Boss developer who did the Wishing Wall project.
Okay.
She's like, what do you think about flying pigs? I was like, hell yeah, flying pigs. That's so awesome. And I was like, it's like the impossible becoming possible. I was like, that's like every artist's
When pigs fly.
When pigs fly, right? The cool thing is like you get to create the entire backdrop, which I figured out how high I wanted that shoe by doing a handstand on the water box, because I was like, okay, if this is my mural, I get to have it like perfectly where I can stand in a handstand and hold the giant's foot up with my feet, which like I was like, that's fun.
Help you. I don't know. Well,
Beer.
You could tell, Mary.
Champagne, caviar. Come on, George, where's it gonna come from? Like, do we have an ice box in here?
This is so far the best 40 blocks we've been. I mean, no offense to anybody that we've had in the seat here, in the Mercedes seat, but holy smoke.
All I'm gonna have to say is,
Is it okay if I do the Marin Conrad speed round? Favorite thing about Sacramento?
we're actually the #1 most integrated city in the world. You look at tables of people, and everybody's different ethnicities and religious backgrounds and everything that are like sitting at the same table.
What does scare Marin Conrad? What scares you?
Snakes.
Snakes scare you. Who inspired you? Both your art and maybe you as just a human, a person, a mom.
I have a Yoda in town. Her name's Mary Daffin, and
Yes.
she is like my straight shooter. Like, she will be like, hey, Marin, you know how you stay married? I'm like, how? She's like, you stay married. And I'm all,
Mary Daffin.
got it.
That was 40 blocks. Von Hausen hooks us up. Marin Conrad, keeping it real the entire time. One of the best artists in town, I tell you that right now. Thanks for joining us.
Mwah.